Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we are installing the strobe light kit that you can get for your Ventrac 4520n. When you receive the kit, you're gonna get 4 strobe lights with 4 different mounts. This is your A, this is your B, this is your D, and this is your E. We're gonna work on the front ones for now. We're gonna grab A, and we're also gonna grab B. The hardware kit will also include fasteners, so grab your bolt and nut. You'll need 2 of them. So starting with the left side, you're gonna notice that there's a cutout. If you take this hook here and kind of feed it through that opening and the light doesn't sit like this, then you more than likely have them mixed up. Grab your nut and bolt. Bolt will go on the outside, nut on the inside, and just hand tighten them for now. Do the same thing to this side here. Now that you're certain you got both installed correctly, go ahead and tighten down your nut and bolt. I'm using a 1/2" socket and a 1/2" ratcheting wrench on the other side. And you essentially repeat the process on the back. So try to line everything up, and if it doesn't, then you more than likely got the wrong one. Let's try this one. Yep, this one lines up. Kind of straighten out the strobe light while you're tightening it too. Tighten up the fasteners. Okay, now we lay out the harness. You're gonna have 2, one with this 2 protector and one without. The wire without we'll worry about later. The one we're going to be installing right now is this pack. And you kind of spread it out like so. These connectors are gonna be towards the back, and these 2 solo ones are going to be your fronts. So let's go ahead and connect the fronts first, so that way we can at least have the wire holding on to the canopy. The shorter one is gonna connect to your left side. You'll hear a click, and the right one is going to connect to your right side. Make sure when you connect this one, you connect it over the rail so there's nothing hanging. You'll wanna actually secure this wire with the loom clamps. Now there's 2 different sizes. You're gonna actually take the bigger ones for the fronts. Now this portion, you're gonna take the smaller loom clamps, and I'm going to use the side walls of the rail in order to kind of secure my harness. And then we'll feed the harness on top of the fan and kind of out that way where we can grab it and pull it through. Remember, before you connect the rear ones, make sure you're going over the rail so everything kind of holds in place, and then take a loom clip and clip it to the back top side of that frame rail. Okay, before we proceed any further with our connections, what we want to do is disconnect the battery. Also make sure your key is out of the ignition as well, and your seat prop is locked in place. All right, here's the most challenging part out of all of this. You're gonna take the other wire that came in the kit, and what we're essentially going to do is feed it through the top of the roll bar down towards our battery, and then connect it there somewhere. I already tried to feed this from the bottom up. I don't know why this thinner wire gets stuck, unlike our fan wire, which we were able to route from the bottom up. This one, I believe we have to start from the top and route it towards the bottom. So I'm gonna take a steel rod, connect these 2 connectors, not the colored ones, so not the ones that already have a blue and red connector, but the ones that are bare. The ones that are bare are what we are going to tape to our flexible metal rod. So I'm just using electrical tape here. Don't go super thick because you are going through some tight spacing. Press it down, give it a good tug. If it's holding in place, should work. I'm going to go in line with this wire here for our fan. So I'm starting from the bottom and making my way down. Okay, I probably spent a solid 1 minute here on this gap. If you have a canopy installed and you don't have a way to fold your roller bar, you can either remove it if you're having really hard time feeding this wire through, but it's got to go to the left of your other wire. If you don't have another wire, it's just going to go to the left opening. And as you notice, my rod finally popped out. I had to finagle it with a pick. It wanted to pop out on the right side of the roll bar. I'm pushing it towards the left. And so we finally got it to pop out to the left side. We're going to push it back down. Inch by inch, we're pulling it down. And I can see that we are making progress because of all the lettering on the wire. Slowly going down until we pop out at the end. I went a little bit too far, so we're gonna go back up a tad bit. There's our wire connection. Let's go ahead and remove all the electrical tape. Now, since I have already ran a fan kit, the fan kit had this new plate for your rear taillight mount. It has all these holes. This one is for your main light with your 2 screws, 2 wire holders, and another bolt hole. These are also included in your strobe light kit. So I just have a spare. I won't be needing to use that. But what we do now need to do is give us enough wire, so keep pulling it through, but not too much to where those blue and red connectors are going back into your ROP. So you do not want to start all over again. Don't forget to feed your wire through this grommet here. You can honestly reinstall the grommet if it will reinstall. And now take your other grommet, the grommet that came with this mount. You're gonna feed the wires through that grommet. Go about there. And now you wanna feed these wires through the opening of the back side of the frame. They'll more than likely get stuck with other wiring. Once you have it pulled through, go ahead and pull the rest out. You'll also want to run these wires to the left and preferably underneath this main wire here. Just gonna push it underneath and it's gonna go through here inside of this box. Take your 4 3/8 screws off of this control panel and take the whole control panel and just lay it to its side. You're gonna do some more fishing, finding those 2 wires and pulling them towards you. What we need to do next is install this connector. As you can see, there's 2 openings. There is an A and a B. Now the black wire is going to go into position A, which in this case, as you can see, it's on the left. We have B, which the white wire is gonna go into. And the wires that we just fished out are, again, color-coded. One is black and one is white. So we need to install this connector onto these wires, and it's a bit challenging to get this camera angle. So refer to my fan install video. I actually showed you guys how to install one of these, and I had a much better angle to where you can see what I'm actually doing. Okay, so after you got your connection built out and all connected, let me try to focus here. There it is. What we'll need to do next is find the connector with a dummy connector on it. It'll be labeled strobe light and it'll be blue like that with a blue end cap. You're gonna remove that cap and connect that connector to the one clearly labeled strobe light. The next part is finding this strand of wires. You're gonna have a work light harness and a strobe light harness. And here we have a strobe flashing light indicator. We're going to remove this cover, pop that off, we don't need it, and feed this through. Now we'll take our connector. See this little knob here? It has to go inside of the hole here. Just gonna clean off the connector a little bit. Line up the plastic dowel or whatever you call it with the hole. That's how it's going to, whoa, 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 whoa. That's how it's going to connect. You'll need to open up your fuse box. This 15 amp fuse is going to go into F07. Again, I will have a diagram provided for you guys at the end of this video. We're going to install it there, reinstall our fuse panel. Now these wires here, I'm gonna start with this one. We're going to route them in the same way this electrical line is going. We're gonna kind of just twist it around so it's nice and secure. And then remember, connect both your red to blue and blue to red. That's just how they have it oriented. Don't ask me why the colors don't go together. I would not know. And this here, this is just a program port. You don't need to connect this to anything. You can just hide it. Don't forget about your negative battery terminal. You can go ahead and reinstall that. Before you reinstall the panel, we want to make sure that we got the rocker on the correct way. I like the rocker switches to be oriented the same way for everything. So what we'll do, we connected the battery, we installed a fuse, so we got the key in the ignition. We're going to test the strobes, make sure we got everything connected correctly. I'm going to set the ignition to on. We're going to flick it on. Looks like strobes are working, and we got it correctly installed. There's a 50-50 chance, really. So we're just going to snap it in place. There we go, and reinstall this cover back on. So there you go, guys. That is how you install strobe lights or the strobe light kit from Ventrac onto the canopy of your Ventrac 4520n. Depending on your serial number, the installation might be different. Again, I will have all of the provided information at the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this series where we adding a bunch of accessories to our Ventrac to make it a limited model. Check out the playlist in the description down below. Take care, God bless you, and we'll see you in the next one.